guys, so Bradley has not been on my channel for a very long time. It's been in vlogs but not on my main channel, but today we're going to be doing a university Q&A video. I think this is like my third or fourth one that I've done for you, and because of both kind of at universities but we're at different universities, we thought we'd both be able to answer your questions like a bit better than just me by myself and just my opinion. So we thought it'd be good for both of us to answer like questions and have like different opinions on them. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. So we asked on Instagram for questions earlier, and we got quite a few, a lot more than I got on the last uni Q&A, so a bit confused about that one. Maybe it's because Bradley's doing the Q&As.
Obviously.
So the first question we've got is, what are the best things about uni? And we're both just gonna like throw our opinions out and blah blah blah, so you can go first.
Independence. So go on a night out, wake up at 5 in the afternoon the next day, order a Domino's, and don't get out of bed for 2 days straight. It's great to not have your parents around. Don't get me wrong, I love my parents, Jess loves her parents. Yeah. But having the ability to do whatever you like is fantastic. Yeah,
it is great. I've said this before, like it's just really great to just be able to do what you want and order what you want and
not have to worry about them asking you to eat your vegetables and, you know, stuff like that. Have you had a drink today?
Because I'm not being funny, even when you are 18, they do still say that.
Well, your parents do when you go home, don't they?
Yeah, like, eat your broccoli, please. And I love them to pieces, but I like to not be able to have to eat my broccoli. Sorry if you do hear cars outside, because we are, like, on a busy road.
I live opposite a multi-storey car park.
Yeah. What else are the best things about uni? Definitely the independence, 100%, but I don't know what else.
Friendships, the networking. So first day I got to uni, I met my flatmates, as did Jess. Both went out on the first night, got drunk, and that was it. You make an instant connection with your flatmates, generally, as long as you get on with them. Yeah. And then I've got a good group of 15, 20 friends that I spend a lot of my time with. Jess has a core group of friends that she's now moving in with in the second year. Yeah. So the ability to make friends is very easy at uni. It is.
It's great, and like a lot of people worry about not making friends. I worried about not making friends at uni, but really it's so easy just because you've got so many different activities that are going on, and you've got your flatmates. Even if you don't get on with your flatmates, you've got different activities on your course and all of this. One thing I also would say that's like one of the best things is that you get to learn about what you want to learn about. And even though I didn't enjoy my course that much,
doesn't really make sense coming from you, does it?
Because even I didn't enjoy it, I still loved fashion, so it was still better than learning about English literature and Pride and Prejudice. Like,
yeah, fair.
You get what I mean?
Yeah,
and obviously for you,
I didn't do English, but
yeah, for you. Like, you love what you were doing.
Yeah, I love what I'm doing.
And it's better than learning about something that you don't really care about. So, especially if you do, like, rubbish at A-level, if you do things that you really don't care about, then, yeah.
For instance, sociology.
Yeah,
Don't ever do sociology A-level. That's my recommendation to everyone.
So the next question we've got is, do you have any money-saving tips or advice? Now, when these questions come up, I really struggle to answer them because, as I've said quite a few times, money's a really sensitive subject. I just think it is. I just think whoever you talk to, whatever age you are, it is a sensitive subject. But I don't know, tips and advice. You got any tips and advice? Budget?
Yeah, well, last week I made a budget because I'm not very good with money. Jess will be the first person to tell you that I'd happily spend £50 on a night out, wake up in the morning, look at my bank account and go, oh well, how did that happen? So I would advise you to make a budget, ask your parents to help. My parents were happy to set me a budget and say, look, if you can stick to this, then we'll help you out in the future. At the same time, I don't know, this depends on people alike with their parents, but don't be afraid to ask your parents for help. Yeah. So I think it was in January. In January, I fell short for my rent. So you get the government give you a loan, obviously, to cover your accommodation. The loan I got fell short in January, and I didn't have the money to pay the extra. I was so worried about asking my parents, but you know, if you approach it right and you say to them, look, I haven't got the money to pay for my rent, I'm sure they'll be able to help you out. Yeah. That's a very strange answer because it differs on everyone's parents, but I would always say make sure you go to your parents before you make yourself in a lot more trouble. Yeah, because that's exactly what you were like. You were too scared to ask, and really you asked them, and they're your parents. They want to help you. They want to help you, and they want you to succeed. So yeah. So
one thing I would say is that you go out a lot at uni. Now I know some of you have said that you don't drink and you're not going to go out, so this does not apply to you. But definitely because you drink a lot at uni, first thing I would say is buy your alcohol before freshers. Like as me and you said we were doing, like saving up now to buy alcohol before freshers.
Yeah, alcohol's expensive.
Yeah, it is. And you don't want to get to freshers and drink like however many bottles of something, and it'd be so expensive. You're going to have to buy loads and loads and loads, and it's just expensive. So now, just like buy a couple of bottles and you can take it to uni with you and it will last you like a couple of months, and it's just
A couple of months? How slow did you drink?
I didn't mean a couple of bottles, I meant a good lot. and then it will like leave you a couple of months, you have to keep buying it. That's one thing I'd say. And another thing is, you're stupid and you take your bank card on a night out. Do not take your bank card on a night out. Take cash out, put it in your bag and you spend your cash and that is it. Like, don't be stupid and take your card. Like, I know sometimes you take your card because you're worried that you might be in a situation where you need your card, you need more money. It very rarely happens. And also, you're going to be with friends. Like, it's very rare that you're always with your friends or you're not out. You're never by yourself, are you really? So,
until you are. If you want to go on your own, you go on your own.
So really, like, you're always going to have somebody else that's got cash on them. So, yeah, I'd just say just don't take your card, because that is where the problems happen, definitely.
It's where the money goes.
Yeah, but really don't worry about, like, worried about money at uni, because it works out and everything is fine. Like, would you say the same thing? Don't worry about it before you go.
I would say save as much as you can.
Yeah, definitely.
But at the same time, don't spend nights not sleeping because of it.
No.
You know, I took a couple of £100 of savings. You know, I didn't have really any savings, and I'm still here. So.
Yeah, exactly.
But
still got a bed and a house.
I got a job in October, so I went 1 month without a job, and then got straight into one. Jess got a job in November.
Oh no, I started in September.
Oh, Jess started in September.
Yeah, I started the first week of uni. I started a job.
So yeah, we both got jobs quite soon. So it's not really a tip, but definitely get a job.
Yeah.
And this is a really kind of strong opinion, but there's no excuses. I don't see any reason why somebody can't get a job.
No, I agree. Especially only if someone commented on my last video and said I'm in 9 to 5 on a medical course, and at the weekends I have something, and I was like, right, okay, well, fair enough.
Special exceptions, obviously.
Like,
but if you're like us, when you've got 2 to 3 days off a week, I've got
2 days in at uni. I've no excuse not to get a job. There's no
excuses not to get a job.
Like, you've got 5 days. Yeah, you've got 5 days.
Okay, so the next question is: was it hard to balance going out on a night out and getting uni work done? I would say yes, because I'm the kind of guy who procrastinates, will happily spend his week going out, and then on the Friday night, when the deadline is at midnight, I'll be up for the night before trying to finish it. Yeah, so I'm that guy. We're
very different in that. I will get an assignment and get it done, and then deal with the going out afterwards. But I do think it very much helped. I've said this before. Me and all of my friends were on the same course. We had assignments at the same time, the same assignment, the same deadline, and everything was done on the same day. So it was just like, we all couldn't go out. So we all had that understanding, whereas you had friends from other courses that wouldn't have assignments at the same time.
I've got friends on my course, but the friends that I go out with, I don't have one person on the same course.
Exactly. So like, your best friends aren't from your course, so it's like, they'll be like, well, we're going out, and it's like, you don't really want to miss out, and you don't want to like them have a great night and then you not be there, so then you go.
In the whole year, I missed out on maybe 2 nights, and that was at the back end of April when my assignments were due, because I just needed to get them done. By April, you've made all of your friends. You're not going to be socially excluded for missing a night out in April. You've already got your friends. It's not a problem. If you need to get your work done, that is the #1 reason you're at uni. Or it should be, at least. You should be at uni to get a degree.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
If you're prioritising a night out over getting an assignment done, then you need to have a look at yourself a little bit.
Yeah, the thing is as well, you don't actually get work at uni, especially like on our type of course, and which is the majority of courses, until December.
Yeah,
so really, you're not going to have to balance it until December, like work and uni.
Yeah, so the way my course worked, well, actually mine was a bit different. So the way my course worked, in the first 6 months, one of my assignments, I had weekly questions that were like little essays of 1,000 words.
Yeah.
The other 2, so I got 3 assignments in the first semester, 3 in the second. So in the first semester, only one of them was a weekly task. The other 2, you started at the start of December, and then at the end of December, you finished with like a 3,500 word report. So until December, you don't really need to do much work.
No, you don't. Hang on, you had 3 assignments?
Yeah.
I had 4 every term.
Really?
Yeah, because I had 4 different units.
There you go.
Oh, well, I had 4. Hard done by. So the next question we're going to answer is, how did you find buying food and cooking for yourself? The same girls also asked essential items that you might not think of to take to uni. I'm going to do a video all about that, and all about the items that you might not think to take, and things that are really essential to take. So watch out for that in the next couple of weeks. So we're not going to answer that right now.
One thing that Jess won't mention, take a clothes horse.
You wouldn't mention that because
you didn't use one. You didn't use one.
Are you having a laugh? I have one up like every week. Shows how much attention he pays. Anyway, so yeah, the question was, how do you find yourself buying food and cooking for yourself? I loved it. I really loved cooking for yourself and buying food. I really loved it. Just because you could choose exactly what you eat. Like, At home, like you come home from school and your parents would say, right, well, we're having lasagna tonight, or we're having cottage pie, or whatever.
When all you fancy is turkey drummers and some smiley faces.
Exactly. And it's just like, you can pick what you want to eat. If you fancy pasta one night, you can have pasta. If you fancy chicken, you can have chicken. If you fancy pizza, you can have pizza. Like, we haven't ordered pizza. We need to order pizza. Anyway, but yeah, like, you can just choose what you want. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do, but I would say that portion control is an issue.
I agree with that.
I generally eat more than I should anyway. I've got quite a big appetite. So yeah, I've put on a little bit of weight. But not only portion sizes, but be careful what you're buying. So when you go around at the start, you might feel like you've got a lot of money. You might throw everything in, and it might come to like £70, and you'll go, bloody hell, that's expensive.
Yeah, because you don't realise how expensive food is before you go to your
We both shop at Asda because we think it's the best. So
it is the best.
Cheapest meats. They always have meats on 3 for £10. So the meat is a big thing when you're shopping. It's generally the most expensive thing you'll buy.
Yeah, or fruit. Fruit's quite expensive.
Meat or fruit, but I would say frozen fruit and meat from Asda because it's always in deals.
Yeah, it is. And like, I don't know, it's just things like when you go around, I always write a list. I will never go shopping without a list because I think
never take a list.
I know, but you're rubbish with money. There's another money tip. Always write a list because you write a list.
You don't know what you fancy till you get there, do you? So
yeah, but you write a list and you know what you want.
If I see Pedro the Pug birthday cake, I might just buy it. I might fancy it. If you're looking for a birthday cake, go to Asda and get Pedro the Pug.
Or the pinata one with all the smiles that come out of it.
Pedro the Pug.
Anyway, I always write a list because you just know, you walk around and then you're like, yeah, need some raspberries. Yeah, I need some Mars bars.
Yeah, but you always bought the same stuff. You always got bacon and noodles and fruit.
Yeah,
whereas I like to buy just random stuff that I see. I'm an impulse buyer. That's what I do.
Yeah, you are. But then it costs you more money. So all I'm saying is I would recommend buying a list. Each to their own. Obviously, you're not a list maker.
Food essentials.
Food essentials. Because everyone's different with their
No. But like something that... So if you go on a night out and there's something that you need to have in your cupboard, bread. I know that sounds stupid, but best hangover cure, a slice of bread.
Yeah,
for me, for you, it absorbs the alcohol.
Cheesy garlic bread's a little bit better.
Cheesy garlic bread is better, but when you order it, you tend to fall asleep like Jess did the other day.
Yeah, I did.
So, what other food essentials can you think of? Fruit and meat, obviously. That's an essential for any time in life. I'd
say as well, don't scrape by on food. Like, I think it's something...
Always have food in your cupboards.
Yeah, I think it's something, obviously, it's much more important than going out. Food is an important thing in life.
Actually, another money tip. Always have food in your cupboards because you'll do what I did last year and you'll have nothing in the cupboards and you'll go, do you know what, I'll have a takeaway and that'll cost you £5.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've
if you want 10.
If you've got like, you know, a jacket potato, you can put it in the oven and it'll cost you a grand total of like 20p.
Yeah, exactly. So and also
as well, make sure you've got food in the cupboards.
Most uni halls have shops over the road. Bradley had a Sainsbury's last year. I just had a random corner shop. Now Sainsbury's is expensive. Yeah. And if you don't have things in your cupboard because you haven't done a weekly shop, you'll just pop to Sainsbury's and you probably spend more in Sainsbury's than you should on your weekly shops in Asda because you're picking up like bits and bobs. But you might only be picking up one thing. It might only cost you £6, for example. But it's just like that might cost me 4 or 3 in Asda, and it's just like over the course of the year you end up spending a lot more money.
Making us sound like brand ambassadors for rival supermarkets.
Yeah. We used to work at Waitrose, for Christ's sake. But yeah, I would say, I don't know, make a list. That's my grand thing for cooking and shopping. Oh, and also cooking at uni. Grab a uni cooking book if you are not very confident with cooking.
Nosh for students. Is fantastic.
It's great. I will leave the link down below. It's really, really good. You can get it off Amazon. I think it's like $6.99. It's so good. It's just a really good book. It's easy. It's got some really basic things in there. I thought I was going to be rubbish at cooking. How worried was I with cooking for uni before I left? I was so worried. Bradley was actually quite good before we left. Now I would say I'm a better cook than you.
I disagree. I'm lazy. If I put effort in, I'm a better cook than Jess. But Jess is a more consistent cook.
I am. Yeah, I think that's
fair.
Yeah, that's fair. But also, that means I'm bad. Anyway.
How is it? If I put some effort in, I'm a grade A chef. Obviously.
Grade A. You wouldn't say grade
Michelin
A.
star, obviously.
But yeah, so grab a uni cookbook, have a flick through when you're at home. Maybe like before I went to uni, I actually made a couple of things at home. The only thing I would say though is things like lasagna and cottage pie and spaghetti bolognese and jack potatoes are things that you will cook all the time.
Put lasagna in that. Lasagna is fairly difficult to master.
Yeah, it is. Okay, forget lasagna. Well, it depends if you buy that Don Mio little kit.
Well, yeah, but like, I wouldn't think, oh, quick meal, lasagna.
No. I just mean like those type of meals are not usually in cookbooks. Like in
but they're good food to eat, and they're cheap to make, and they're good food for you.
And they're easy, and they're not very hard. You know, the ingredients you probably have. Full foods.
Full, as opposed to empty.
I was gonna say the green ingredients you normally will have in your cupboard, and like just things like chicken and rice and sauce and stuff like that is something we.
Chicken and rice with a sauce is the easiest dish you'll make.
It is.
And
it's so easy.
Tasty and it's good for you.
Yeah.
Simple.
It's great. One thing also, I am gonna do a uni like recipe type video. Just like quick and easy things that you can eat at uni. That'll be kind of like in September sometime. So if you are really worried, then I will give you a few easy and quick uni recipes to eat.
Excellent. Next
you
question.
sound really excited about that.
I'm buzzing. I can't wait.
So next question is, how much do you think about the debt? Is it something worth worrying about? It seems to be the only thing stopping me going to uni. We never think about it. Ever.
No.
I have not. The only time I thought about it is when I was changing course, because I was like, oh, I'm changing course.
Because now you've got
I've got an extra year.
You've got an extra £12,000.
Great, thanks for that. But you never think about it, like even when I was changing course.
My way of thinking about it is, as ambitious people like me and Jess are, we're ambitious enough to think we're going to get somewhere in life, we're going to have good jobs that pay well, and we're going to have a good lifestyle. You have to pay back your loan according to how much you earn. So I think the starting wage is 21 grand.
I pay
so
9%,
if
I guess.
are to move in together and we're both earning 21 grand, we've got £42,000 between us, and we've got to pay off the minimal amount of student loan. Now, as a lifestyle issue, that's not going to affect it. It's not going to affect our day-to-day lifestyle.
No.
It's going to be a minimal outcome that goes out every month, and you won't even notice it. Obviously, the more you earn, the bigger the payments go. But because you're earning more, it's going to be even less to the relative amount you have in the bank anyway.
Exactly.
So
it's all worked out very well. Like they do work out well.
It is expensive. But at the end of the day, you're never really going to see it. Unless you saved up the amount of money you pay back over the time and then spent it, you'd think, wow, this is a lot of money.
Yeah.
But you're never going to do that.
No, you're not.
So I really don't think it's an issue, to be honest.
The cheesiest thing possible for me to say, but I really do think it is like an investment in your future.
Oh, wow.
Like it is.
Uni ambassador, here we go.
I am a uni ambassador, literally. Like I am the person who wants everyone to go to uni. It's the best experience.
It is fantastic.
But I really would say like it is an investment in your future. And it's, as I've said many times before, it's one of the best experiences you'll have. I'm not saying that it is worth like the amount of money to go out.
If you were to pay it all up front, I wouldn't say that getting a first class degree is worth like 40 grand or 50 grand.
It's more than that, I think.
Whatever it is.
But whatever it's
if
worth.
Someone said to me, right, you get to go to uni, fantastic. The one draw is it costs you 50 grand. I'd be like, excuse me, no thanks.
But that's the point. It's not like that. That's why they've worked it out not to be like that. Yeah. So yeah, just weigh it up. I really think if that is the only thing putting you off, you really shouldn't be worrying about it seriously, because it's nothing to do with your financial position now. Absolutely nothing.
So is it easy to find a job at uni? Right. This is kind of a difficult one because...
Can I just add, she did say that she found it hard to find one at home and she can't help but think it'll be harder to find one there, and that's why she's worried.
So Jess got a job because her dad knew a guy who knew a guy, etc, etc.
Fair enough.
But Jess was capable of doing the job, so she kind of got it in herself in the sense that she kept the job, she was good
went
at the
to
job.
the interview. It's not like he was just like, oh, here you go. Like.
And me, I didn't apply for the job I have now. My tutor at uni, who was my marketing tutor, actually forwarded me for a role and said, look, this guy's really good, give him a try. And that's where I still am today. So neither of us really went out and grabbed the job we were after. But at the same time, we put ourselves in the position to get the job. So obviously my tutor looked at me and thought he's good, as did, Jess's dad's boss, friend. Whoever. At the same time, we both applied for loads of jobs, and I have had a few job opportunities, as has Jess, but we were comfortable in the roles that we had at the time to not have to move on. So it's very, very easy to apply for a job. Me and Jess signed up to read.co.uk. Is that the job site?
Yeah, I mentioned it in the vlog actually. If you don't watch my vlogs, please go and subscribe down below. But I did mention it in a vlog because I have been struggling to get a job over the summer, being at home, because a lot of people won't employ you because you're only home for like 3 months. And that is why Bradley has been in Derby the whole summer, because he's just carried on with his job here rather than coming home and trying to find one.
Has its pros and its cons.
Yeah, it does. It has a bit of both. But I've come home and really struggled to find a job because no one wants to employ you for 3 months. It's a waste of their time. And so I've kind of had temporary roles since being at home, and the only reason reason I got that is from going on Read and popping my CV on there. So 100%.
You didn't actually apply for the one you got, did you?
I didn't even apply for it. She just
that one.
Yeah, she just rang me up and she said, "Do you want this job?" I didn't even go to the interview, and I was like, yeah, okay. And it was really good. I did really well in it, and I don't know, I really enjoyed the job. So I just think definitely put your CV on there. You can say whether you want part-time work, temporary, full-time, permanent, anything. You can say exactly what you want, and you can look at everything that you want, and you can put which job you're looking for and stuff like that. So just give it a go, I'd say. And as I've said before, maybe you should start looking before you go.
Yeah, definitely. So like I was supposed to go to Nottingham Trent. Didn't happen, but now Derby's actually a better uni, so woo. I was supposed to go to Nottingham Trent, so before I got there, I went down in August, I applied for jobs.
You did, didn't
you?
I
applied for jobs and didn't get in, so I had a little cry, got to uni, and then I did the same with Derby, so we got our results on August the 17th last year. It was a very scary day, so I feel sorry for anyone who's got that up and coming. But good luck to you all.
But it does work out.
Let me finish.
Oh, okay, Jesus.
So I went to Derby and I went to the Into Centre, which is the shopping centre, and just handed my CV to absolutely everywhere. I'll be honest, I didn't get loads of offers. I got one or two. Got an offer at Next, got rejected, a little bit heartbroken. But put yourself in the right position and you'll find a job. If you are a quirky, outgoing person who is, enthusiastic, then people will realise that, and you more likely to find a job. If it looks
like you want a job, like if you really try, you're gonna get somewhere.
At the end of the day, you've got to want it. If you're the sort of person who's going to apply half-heartedly and then not turn up to work or turn up late, then
or not really bothered to the interview or whatever. Like, obviously, I've said so many times, but mainly in vlogs, as I keep saying, about me applying for jobs in the summer. I literally keep going on about it because it's just, that's one thing that's been happening in my life recently. But I've been going to so many interviews, and that meant me buying a suit. Now, obviously, that cost me quite a bit of money. A suit is not cheap. And I went into Next and got this suit, and the interview that I went to the suit in, I didn't even get the job. And it's the kind of thing, like, you've got to want it, and even though obviously I spent that money on a suit and I was like, oh great, I didn't even get the job. You've got to want the job.
You weren't really enthusiastic about the role though, were you?
Yeah, I was. It's the boots one.
Oh, awkward. But at the same time, you were headhunted for your role, and as soon as you found out that she was interested, you were like, oh my god, this is amazing, I really want to do it. Because it feels nice to be headhunted. Yeah, like, as soon as my tutor told me, oh, they want to take you for an interview, I was straight down there the next day. Like, I really wanted to do it, so you want to impress. Yeah,
you do, definitely. I just think, basically, get on there before you go to uni. Get on Read, get on, or even just go down to the city, and as you said, hand your CV in. But the thing is,
just get your name out there.
One thing I would say, though, is companies now, like Next, Miss Selfridge, Topshop, Apple, any of those, they all are online. They're not really in the shop.
Yeah, they are.
That's one thing I would say is, instead of, especially if your thing is, I remember you going and coming back and going, well, they were all online. Like, I had to apply online. And it's the kind of thing, just make sure you look beforehand. If it says, like, I know definitely Oasis and Warehouse and the Disney store all are in store. So if you're not working any of those, go and hand your CV in the store.
I know someone that works in the Disney store, actually.
Do you?
Yeah, she really enjoys it.
Well, yeah, all three of those, you have to hand your CV in. But maybe just have a look before you go, because if you're going to travel 3 hours somewhere because you're going to uni there, just for the day to hand in CVs and realise that everywhere you want to apply actually is online, then that probably isn't going to help.
Another thing I will add, actually the question here says, is it easy to find a job at uni? As we've said, yes and no, but another thing, it depends where you're going. So if you're going to somewhere that has a uni, but it's actually only a town and they've got 20 shops, you've got a lot of competition, you need to stand out. Whereas me and Jess are lucky to go to big cities. Obviously, Manchester's a lot bigger than Derby. But Derby is a big enough city to have enough places to accommodate a lot of jobs that you can go for. So ultimately, we can give you as many tips as you like, but if you're going to Aberystwyth...
So I was just about to say about Aberystwyth. Talking about Aberystwyth, I know someone that goes there, and basically it's quite and I'm not just talking about Aberystwyth as a bad place, just know somebody that goes there. And because it's quite a small town, all the jobs go to the locals first instead of the university students. And so they always say, the uni said apparently when this girl went, on the open day, it's really hard to find a job, so if you want a job, don't come here, kind of thing, like obviously in a better way than I just said it.
It's kind of a good deal in a way, isn't it? Like, oh, mum and dad, I can't get a job, so you're going to have to fund me anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, just obviously it depends where you're going, to be quite honest, and it depends what you're looking for as well, completely. So I think if you're available to work any day, you're available to work weekends or whatever, then that's fine. So yeah, completely depends on you and anything like that. But as I said, and I haven't actually finished this off, start applying before you go. Because when you get there, every fresher, every second year, third year is going to be applying for jobs. So apply before you go there, and you've got a lot more chance of, maybe even if you've got unconditional offers, really you should be applying now. Oh, actually, no, they shouldn't, because they're not starting until the 20th of December.
No, but you need to be getting you need to be getting your name in the door now.
Yeah, because even if you apply for a job, and
if you apply for a
interview,
job and you said, look, I'm a student who's going to uni, they're going to understand, obviously, well, you're not going to be living here until September anyway.
Yeah.
So even if you get the job now, it's only a month in advance, they can say, right, so-and-so starting in September, great, go from there.
Yeah, exactly. And also, even if you go to the interview and you don't get the position that they're looking for, they will still keep you on their books quite a few times, especially if they like you. And if they then have another vacancy come up, and that is in the end of September or October when you are starting, then they will probably ask you to come to the interview for that role. So yeah, bit of everything. What else have we got? What are we doing now?
Next question. I quite like this one because it's easy. Would you recommend going to uni?
Yes.
Quite obviously, yes. I absolutely love it. I know Jess absolutely loves it.
Yeah.
Manchester's a great place. Derby, not so much, but it's still a nice place to go.
Good.
It's not quite Manchester, but yeah.
Yeah, I still like it.
This depends on a number of factors. Me and Jess both love where we live. We love the friends that we've made. We love our courses, or Jess is going to love her course, hopefully.
I still liked mine last year.
I know,
wasn't
but it's because you had the
100%.
friends in it, isn't it?
Yeah, if I didn't have my friends in my course, I actually think I would have left uni. Like, I really do. I think my friends made uni what it was, so thanks, friends. Thanks, Martha, I know you're watching.
I've got really, I'm not going to say supportive because that sounds weird. I've got really good flatmates. Like, we don't particularly have a lot in common, but my best friend is my flatmate who I met on the first day. He was the first guy I met at uni. Now my absolute best friend.
You're so cute together.
We go to football games together. He's the sort of guy that will sit and play FIFA with me for 5 hours and have a chat about whatever I want to do.
And the thing I would say is that if you met them and you looked at them together, you would never know they were friends.
Yeah,
and they would probably have never made friends. Actually, George said, can I say his name?
Yeah.
George said the other day to Bradley, you were the kind of guy that I would have hated at school.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm the kind of loud, in-your-face, confident guy, and George is more of an introvert. He's a nice guy and he's confident, but he keeps himself to himself.
Yeah, he does. And I just think that's really cool and interesting that George said that, and it was just like, and now they're best friends. And that's what I love about uni. You can be friends with absolutely anyone.
Yeah, of course you can.
No one judges.
My friends came up. So my friends came up. I'm living in my new house now, as you can see by the attire.
Yeah. People told me this is a really nice background, so glad they've got another video in it.
My friends from home came up to uni and they met George, and George said, I really thought they'd be idiots before they came up, and he actually got on with them really well. So it just goes to show even more that no matter who you are, as long as you're approachable and happy to meet new people, that you generally going to get on with most people.
As long as you want to meet new people, you want friends, you're going to make them.
Don't judge either.
No, don't.
My flatmates, like I said, aren't people that I would generally associate with, but just don't judge.
Don't.
People are nice.
Everyone's nice and everyone wants to make friends. And I would say, and I've said this, I actually commented, I've replied to comments on it, but I've never actually said it in a video. I didn't find, neither of us found out, hang on, did you? Who your flatmates were before you went to uni?
I spoke to George, when I first got into uni, but speaking to him on Facebook, like, oh, what are you doing, you know, and I didn't really speak, so we spoke a little bit, and then I just gave him the conversation, like, oh, I don't really want to talk to him. Yeah. And then obviously got here, and now he's my best friend.
Exactly.
So, don't be ignorant. Like, if you look at someone's profile and they don't look cool or they look weird, just give them a chance, because they might actually be a really nice person.
Yeah, and someone might think the same thing about you. They might think, oh my god, they look horrible about you. Yeah. And it's just one thing, I didn't find out who my flatmates were until the minute I walked in that door, and actually very many hours afterwards, because I was the first person that got there. But one thing I'd say is that a lot of my friends from home found out who their flatmates were before they went to uni, and they judged like crazy, and they will admit they judged like crazy, and it was ridiculous. Like, it was like, oh my god, he looks like this, and oh my god, have you seen his profile? Have you seen like what he commented like 5 years ago?
That's what I did.
And it's ridiculous, because then, and also one thing I would say is you're like having a conversation with them, like, oh, what are you doing? What's this? What's that? But when you get to uni, then you've already found out everything about them, and it's just, I know you enjoy.
But you didn't speak. Like, you're trying to say, well, don't talk to them.
No. Well, you didn't really speak to George.
I think the overriding point is keep an open mind.
Yeah, keep an open mind.
Definitely keep an open mind.
Yeah.
So, someone's commented saying basically they're in a dilemma. They have got to choose between moving to a city they love and taking on a full-time job, or moving to a place they like, so not love, like, and going to uni. What are our thoughts on what to do, what would we recommend?
She said that she can't go to uni in the place that she loves because it's too expensive and the entry is too high. So how does she decide what she wants to do regardless of other people? It should be like advice.
Well, she's hit the nail on the head. Don't take notice of what other people think.
No,
so
definitely.
I wanted to go to Nottingham-Trent because most people in our sixth form wanted to go there.
Yeah.
Terrible decision. I obviously didn't get in anyway. I'm now at Derby, which is a better uni.
But I went to Nottingham the other day, and no offense to anyone that lives in Nottingham, I didn't like it, and I've said many times I looked at going to Nottingham, and so did Bradley.
You only put it as a choice because I
know.
Going
I've
there,
said this in so many. I've said this in loads of Q&As, and I've said it's just stupid.
Let's just get that out of the way now. If you and your partner are looking at going to uni, no. If you and your partner are looking at going to unis, and you're choosing one because he's or she's going there and you're sacrificing the one you love, don't. Terrible decision. We have now been going to uni obviously for the first year, travelling to and from each other, and it's worked. So don't give the whole, oh well, this isn't going to work, let's break up now, rubbish. No, give it a try, and if you want it to work, it will. Yeah, exactly. Right, one thing I would say is that we were discussing this before because it's quite a difficult question to answer, and we were just discussing like what we would do, and it depends how much you love that place and how much you like the other place. If you love it more than anything in the world, if it's how I feel about Manchester, and the other place is just like, it's alright, like, oh, I could spend a day there, but I don't really like it, then choose the place that you love. And I think it also depends how much you want that degree or how much you want that full-time job. Yeah, because if you go to somewhere to do a degree and you don't enjoy the place, if you don't enjoy the place, it might rub off on you. You start not being depressed, but maybe not being as motivated. You don't do as well in your degree. Whereas if you're in a place that you love, in a mediocre job, it might motivate you to say, look, I want to stay here, so I'll do good in my job, get onto a better role and go from there. Yeah. That's you know, ideal world, but it could happen. So like I was speaking to Jess about this earlier, my ideal place to move would be Liverpool. I love it as a city. It's an absolutely amazing place and I support Liverpool. So it would be great for me to move there. And that's where I looked at when I went into clearing, but all of their unis are really high entry grades. Yeah. Regardless, if I was to rewind a year and I had a job opportunity for a full-time job in Liverpool or to go to uni in Derby to do a degree that I wanted to do since I was 16, I would move to Liverpool personally, because I think it's a lot about more where you are and how happy you are rather than what you're doing. For me, I love Manchester more than anywhere in the world, and everybody in the bloody world knows this because all I do is go on about it and might as well be a bloody tour guide for the city. I think I'd just make everyone move there. I love it, so for me I would stay exactly where I am, and for me, I can't see myself in a full-time role at the moment. I worked full-time for like 2 weeks the other week, and I was like, I do not want to work full-time. I want to be back at uni. Basically, back to the question. It depends what you want most. Do you want the lifestyle or do you want the degree? You're moving the tripod. Oh. It depends what you want most. Do you want the lifestyle or do you want the degree? The degree would probably be more of a long-term strategy, as in that once I get this degree, I can go where I like. If you're desperate for the lifestyle now, then why compromise 3 years? Yeah, I agree. I think it really does depend how much you want either thing, how much you want. That's exactly what I just said. But yeah, but what I mean is whether you would much prefer going to uni or having a job. I know I would way prefer going to uni than having a job. For me, I'd probably go to the rubbisher place. However, and go to uni. This is from us both having been to uni for a year. Exactly. But we recommend uni over anything else. This time last year, we were looking at not going to uni. Me and you I didn't really want to go. Me and you sat on notgoingtouni.com and we're looking at apprenticeships and jobs and blah blah, and that would have been the worst decision I've ever made in my life. Was I going to do an apprenticeship in like BMW or something? Yeah, you look at Rolls Royce. Rolls Royce, that was it. I'd have been in Derby anyway. And it's just like, I don't know, that would have been the worst decision I would ever have made. Imagine being in Derby and doing an apprenticeship. So I wouldn't have had the freshers lifestyle, I'd just been living in Derby. Yeah. That would have been shocking. Absolutely terrible. Derby's, if anyone is coming to uni in Derby, by the way, it's actually really nice. It's not a bad place. The nightlife, well, me and Jess went out the other night. I don't know if you saw the terribly... No, I don't have a big Snapchat. No. I don't know if you saw the terrible snip of dancing that I did on Jess's vlog. I will link it, like, just here, just in case you haven't seen it. That was, so we went out in like 4 places. Turtle Bay opened the other day in Derby, and it's actually quite a nice place to go out and enjoy yourself. So,
yeah, we went to...
if anyone's thinking of going to Derby, then yeah, come along.
We went to Fever Club, and it was really good. We had a great night. So,
we did have a great
night.
Night.
I really like Derby. It's a lot smaller than Manchester, but
everything's in one
like
place.
It. Yeah, I do really like it.
And we went to a restaurant called Seven today and had a lovely meal.
Yeah, it was really nice. That is in the vlog that's coming tomorrow.
How does uni work compare to A-levels, and do you enjoy what you're studying at uni? So, I'll answer the second bit first. If you aren't enjoying what you're studying at uni, you've picked the wrong course.
You need
Simple
to change.
as that. Jess changed because she loves fashion, but she didn't pick the right course, so she's changed. If that's you, then I would always recommend changing. Because if you're not happy in your course, you won't do as well as you want to.
I've done a video, I did my video about the uni update on changing my degree, so I will link that down below if you are in the same situation, because a lot of people have commented saying that it really did help them. So do watch that if you're in that situation and you're currently at uni at the moment, you don't like your degree. I still found what I did interesting though. I think there is I studied 4 units, and the business units I found interesting.
It was only
it was the real fashion,
like the garments.
It
and
was
all the,
how to
all
do
the
your
threads
stitches.
And all that kind of stuff.
I wasn't feeling that.
That sounds like hell.
But it was that kind of thing that I didn't like. But it was the actual business side I did enjoy. The work difficulty,
I would say
yours was easier, definitely.
Uni, for me, because I did a business course, it was, if you haven't done business, this is the course for you. If you have done business, then great. Anyone can do this course. So naturally, at the start, it was complete beginner's level. But to access the highest grades, you needed to have that bit more background knowledge, bit more interest.
But if you started and you didn't know anything, you could have done
you could have done, but
you
you've
just
got
need
to have
work
the drive
harder.
to do it.
Yeah.
A-levels, I hated A-levels. A-levels are the worst thing in the world. They're worse than hell. So I would never ever, I would always recommend doing A-levels because it gets you to uni, but if you can find an alternative to get the points to come to uni, then 100% choose that option.
I agree. I think if you're going to, I think this is turned to a bit of an A-levels and college thing, but I definitely would say, if you know exactly what you want to do, like you, I would have said it probably would be way better going to college and doing business.
Probably could have done a business BTEC and I'd have been at uni.
College,
I wouldn't have had the stress of A-levels, because A-levels are like
And
hell.
also, you probably would have got into where you wanted because the points were exactly the same.
Yeah.
But I think, for me, for example, I did know what I wanted to do. Obviously, I thought I wanted to do fashion.
Well, yeah,
right?
but you couldn't have done a fashion.
No, but I could do a
BTEC.
fashion thing. Yeah, you can. You can do fashion at college. And you can actually fashion buying at college at some colleges. And if I would have done that, and then I would have gone to uni, and now I wanted to change course, it would have been a lot more difficult for me to change onto a business course.
Yeah,
so I would say that's one thing to keep in mind, that if you are going to go to college instead of A-levels, because you have got in your mind that it's going to be a lot easier or it's going to be just a lot quicker route, just think about the fact, pick something broad, because if you do change your mind, then that could be a bit of a problem. But basically, the work, for you, I think it was much easier for you than A-levels were.
It was, but I struggled with A-levels because there was an immense workload and it was all memory retention.
And you're not very good at exams.
I'm terrible at exams. So my course, all throughout the year, until I finish my uni degree, is 100% coursework, no exams. And I know that probably sounds absolutely amazing to anyone that's listening. So come to Derby, do business. But what I would say
I love exams though.
It's very different. So my course was very hands-on. So one of my modules, I had to work with the local council and develop a website. You know, that's a pretty cool thing to do. You worked in a team. There was no exam at the end of it. It was you got what out of it, what you did at the time. So I thrived on that, whereas Jess thrives on exams, and Jess's best results at uni came in the exams at the end.
And I didn't revise for that.
Exactly. Jess spent her last few weeks going out and getting levered all the time.
I didn't, because all my friends were revising.
Still managed to pull it out of the bag. So it depends on how you work, basically.
My uni course was definitely, I'd say, a similar difficulty to A-levels. For me, I didn't hate A-levels as much as everybody else in the world. I didn't love them, but I think because I liked exams, I found A-levels okay because I liked exams. And there wasn't much coursework in A-levels. I had 2 pieces of coursework and that was in English. Like everything else, there was no coursework. Whereas at uni, it's majority coursework. And I only had 2 exams at the end of the year. So I found it more difficult just because I don't really like coursework. Whereas in my uni course this year, I have got quite a few exams and I've got more exams. So it
makes sense really, because like when I'm in an exam and you have a 16-mark question on, I don't know, so-and-so's business plan in the business paper, I can't remember what the questions are like, but I am the sort of person that likes to explain stuff and go into intricate detail. So when you've got 15 minutes to write it all down...
You babble.
I babble, but when I do it right, like if I'm doing a piece of coursework that's 3,500 words long, it makes sense.
That's what I mean, because you can babble.
Jess is good at being concise and just snappy and getting it all there.
Yeah,
that's why I don't like exams.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like coursework, so...
So, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be good if we could just put the two of us together and then do a course. That'd be pretty
good, wouldn't it?
But I think it depends on what course you pick, to be quite honest. I wouldn't really worry about the difficulty of uni, though. That would be the bottom of my list to worry about. If I was
no. Uni is the first year of uni is designed for everyone. So
yeah, it doesn't matter what you've done.
If you're completely, a genius, you're really good, you've got like A stars in A level, then bloody well done to you. You'll absolutely smash the first year, providing you do the course that's right for you.
One thing I would say, and we are going to finish this in a second because it's very long.
It is very long.
One thing I would say is that the layout of coursework is very different to what you will ever have done at A levels or GCSE to what you do at uni. It's very different layout. And the way you are taught and like you've got to write. And one thing I would say, even if you have got A stars all the way through A level and you've done amazing, I would say you've still got to put the effort in, and I guess if you did get A stars, you would put the effort in because you are obviously quite a good learner if you've put all the effort in. But what I mean is just it is very different. So I just would say, I don't know.
Hats off to getting an A star.
Yeah, I just would say just kind of make sure that you are listening to that kind of thing. So that's probably the most difficult. It's kind of adapting to the new way of learning.
If you're not someone who's done much coursework in A-levels, do not neglect the opportunity to learn how to write coursework.
Yeah, don't.
So me and Jess both did geography A-level, and we actually got the chance to do reports.
Yeah,
and that is something
exactly the same
in a business course that I did and Jess is now doing. You had to do reports last year as well. Report writing is a skill that needs to be mastered quite early.
Yeah.
So we did it in geography. We had the background knowledge that people on my course didn't have a clue what they were doing.
No, so mine did it.
Writing is difficult.
We went to a workshop because I didn't quite know whether I knew it because everybody else didn't know it, if this makes sense.
Yeah. So
sometimes you doubt
yourself.
yourself. So we all went to a workshop, and actually when I sat there I was like, oh, actually this is what I did in for geography, so I knew what I was doing. But it's always good to refresh your memory, and it's always good not to think like Harvard referencing and things like that you're going to have to learn, but don't think you know it. Don't think, oh, because I did this I don't have to go to this. They're there for you to help. Just go to the sessions. It's probably going to take 20 minutes out of your day when you've got 12 hours in uni already. Another 20 minutes isn't going to hurt you that much, is it? Like, just go to the sessions.
Yeah. I neglected quite a lot of the sessions, and I didn't really think about it. But then come April, when I was doing my reports and I had my Harvard referencing books and books falling out of my ears, you need to know what you're doing.
Yeah,
so always go to the sessions.
Yeah, and I was helping you, weren't I? Because you do go to the session.
Yeah. One thing I will say quickly, if your uni has an online library, don't buy the books because the books are so expensive, and if you don't have the money to do it, then don't. Because I bought the books and I'm selling mine because I really don't need them. Derby has a complete online library of every single book you'll ever need. Well,
in our library at Manchester is really, really good, and we also have an online library. For me, I really like having a book in my hand. I'm completely different to you.
And
everyone's
how
different.
You learn. Yeah.
I really like having a book in my hand, and I really like to be able to highlight it, especially if it is a really important book. I know on our reading list we have 3 reading lists. We have one that's essential, we have one that's like recommended, and then we have another one. The essential one, I bought the books off. There's only about like 5 books on there.
But uni books are like 40-50 quid a go. And
yeah, well, I bought them. Some of ours were a lot cheaper. Some of them like £17, so it wasn't that bad. But like, I bought those books just so I could read them and I could highlight them and I could have them in my hand. So it completely depends on how you are, to be quite honest. But the other books, don't buy like 20. Like, buy the most important ones if you want to buy them. Right, and the last question we're going to answer is 3 words to sum up your first year university experience each. We actually haven't told each other the words we're about to say because we didn't want to have the same words.
Should we do them at the same time?
No, you go first.
3, 2,
No,
1.
You go first.
Life-changing. So, I know that sounds really corny, probably going to go,
I totally agree.
What a load of rubbish. But my flatmate, who I met last year, is my best friend. I've got a ton of friends who are now friends for life, who I get on really well with. We have the same similar interests, and
you just love them.
We get on really well. I'm doing a course that is putting me towards a career that I've wanted to do since I was like 15, 16. I've got a really good job with colleagues that I really enjoy going to work with, and it's also developed my confidence, which is my second point. It's confidence boosting. So
I was going to say that one.
Sorry. I wasn't really too sure about the whole meet friends for yourself, because I'd had the same friends since I was like 3 or 4 years old.
Bradley, it was very much, my friends from home are going to be my friends until I am 100 years old. I'm not going to make any new friends.
They still are really close friends.
Yeah, they are.
They're not, but...
They are, but you're going to have new friends.
I always thought that I would just be friends with friends from home, whereas I have made a really good group of friends here, so always keep an open mind. And the last word I was going to use was amazing.
Do you know what? They're my three.
They're really corny, but it's brilliant.
They're my
I don't want to
three,
get giddy about it, but uni is the best thing. It makes me so
happy.
Uni is the best thing to do, definitely. I would always recommend it.
One thing I would say for me is I don't really know the word to say it, but it has really changed me. 100%.
Inspirational.
If you look at a video from this time last year, you tell me how much I've changed, because I literally am a completely different person.
Do you know what the word is?
What?
Life-changing.
Yeah, it is. And also, but because I had to change my degree, it is life-changing, but in a different way. I've just realised that...
It's given you confidence.
It has,
so
and also...
using one of my words.
Right, but also as well, I think it's really made me so much more of a chilled person. I really am. Would you agree? Like, I really am much more chilled. Like, a year ago, I was so, like... I've said this before. Uptight. 100%. And I needed a plan, like, for everything. I was like, yeah, I need to plan for next week.
Jess was like, what are we doing 3 weeks in advance on this Saturday night? What are we doing? Where are we going? I don't
like, are we at mine? Are we at yours? Are we having pizza? Are we having Chinese? It doesn't matter. Who cares?
So now, Jess has been here since Thursday. We spent yesterday in bed all day. And
I was supposed to, like, I said to myself, oh, I'll go home at 9 o'clock. It's now 20 to 10. Like, if a year ago, I'd have been like, oh my God, it's past 9 o'clock.
I need to be in bed for 9 o'clock. Yeah. Where's my skincare? Yeah. I need a routine. Oh my God.
Skincare is still the routine.
We got in from the night out the other night, and Jess basically refused to take her makeup off.
No, I didn't. Well, I woke up in the morning and I was really confused. I was like, why is my makeup off? I didn't take my makeup off. You were like, you did. So I had a routine.
The makeup fairies.
Makeup fairies came. So, this is 53 minutes long.
Hopefully
I
not by the
cannot
time you upload
believe
it.
we have sat here and spoken for that long.
I
said to you, it'll be half an hour. You were like, are you joking? 53 minutes.
Whenever you do a video with me, it's not very often, but when you used to, it's always a long video.
It is, yeah. If you do want us to do any more videos, then please comment down below, because I feel like you have actually enjoyed
Alternatively,
this.
sorry if you're sick of me. My bad.
We've done one video in like the past 2 years.
No, but like, if you're watching this video and go, why the hell's Bradley here? Then just feel free to mention it.
Yeah, if you do want us to do another video, comment down below. No boyfriend tag or boyfriend is my makeup. We've been together like 4 years, not doing that.
Definitely not doing another boyfriend tag. That is so embarrassing.
It's so cringy. So if anybody has got any videos that are already good, then leave them down below and we'll kind of decide if we want to do them or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new, please subscribe. The button is just down below, and we will speak to you very soon.
Come to Derby Uni.
Come to Manchester. See you later, guys. Bye. Could you press the button?
No, you go.
You look. I can't reach. Oh, look, I pulled.